You know, when you borrow money from the bank, you don't borrow the money. You borrow the dollar, not the money. The dollar and the money are two very different things. Money's the real thing. Money's gold and silver, oil, mineral wealth, substance. You know. But a dollar is the debt note of it. So when you go to a bank and ask them for a loan and they give you dollars, they're giving you the debt of the $300,000 or $400,000, whatever you want to borrow. The money's got to be created by you. They give you your whole life to create the money to pay a debt on a house that was yours in the very first place. It was never their home. All they did was put your home as collateral for their debt account. They then gave you the ledger of their account. They didn't give you their account, they gave you the ledger of their account. It's their account and they made you pay it off, but they didn't make you just because you were stupid and a fool, an idiot. You didn't know your shit. You agreed to go and pay their account, settle their account. You become a trustee to their account. And because you didn't know you're a trustee, you didn't work out a compensation deal. You said, oh, would you like me to hold your account? Okay, well, that'll be so much dollars. You want to operate in dollars. And you make the trustee fee greater than the ledger of the account, of the bank account. That'll stop them. You never refuse. You never refuse anyone. It's one of the tricks about dealing with the corporate water law. The banks, which are the banks that control the currency. A bank is not a building. A bank is just, here's a bank. There's a river or a stream. On both sides of the river are the banks. And what the bank does is it controls the flow of the current, which is the current, the water flow, the current sea. That's what the banks do. The bank didn't create the current or the water or what flows through the banks. That was created by something, a much higher source. God made the water go from the sea to the mountains, which is the higher source. And as it flows from the higher source down, it's the banks that only control the flow, the direction of the current. It doesn't create the current. It doesn't create the substance that's created by the real things. Man create a commercial currency. So when you hold the accounts of a bank, you apply for a bank account, you're only holding their currency. You're holding their property as a trustee. You thought it was yours. You thought the bank was yours. It wasn't yours at all. It was theirs. A ledger is a dead stone that sits on top of a tomb. There's a language for the ledgers too. You'll find that type of language on top of tombs. It's all uppercase text that doesn't follow the grammatical rules of Latin, and it can't follow the grammatical rules of English. So it's a text that reads nothing. It's a lie. And if you look in the Webster's dictionary, the big foot thick one, probably most dictionaries, the word ledger comes from lie. So the text of the ledger is found on the tombstones, and when articles from your bank appears in the mail, there it is. The same type of text that's inside that article, that ledger, which is an account, which is the debtor part of an account. And when you claim and break the seal on that ledger and open that ledger, you've made a claim over the account of the bank, of that bank, which is a foreign corporation that has passed itself off as a bank, but it's not really a bank at all. Top left-hand corner, usually on a ledger or in an article that appears in the mail that has a ledger in it, you'll notice some writing. It says, if unclaimed, return to sender, or if undelivered, which means claimed, return to sender. Did you know that that's the remedy? Because only you have the power to make a claim. Thou is one, you is two. If you want to be, or if thou want to be a you and claim the ledger of someone else's account, that's your choice, that's your right. You have that power to do that. But if you don't know what you're doing, then you'll claim the ledger to act as a trustee of another man's account. It's really simple, you know, once you know how. You know, it's really simple once you know how it works. But the elite need the slaves. Because slavery's been outlawed. They've got to get you to agree to be a slave. You've got to surrender your equitable title to whoever issues a legal title. And if you don't know any better and you think that legal title is what you're looking for, then they're only too happy to hand you over the legal title. Because accepting the legal title hands them the equitable title. You see, that's why in the Garden of Eden, the serpent, the usurper, was so hell-bent to try and get Adam to eat the fruit, be a usufruct, a trustee of the tree of knowledge. Because once Adam accepts the legal title, then the serpent, the usurper, could be the Vatican, then holds the equity. You probably realise that the Vatican often says, the Pope says, I hold the souls of the dead. Because the soul is the equitable title. The minute you accept the legal title of the Vatican, of the sea, of the currency, and you accept that legal title, that comes in a ledger, you're dead, just like that. Remember what the Lord said? If you eat from the tree of knowledge, you can't eat from the tree of life. Now, the Skull and Bones Society has a number on the bottom of it, 322. The bones, skull and bones, is a symbol of death, along with the cross. The cross of Christ is also the symbol of death. the 322. You read that in the Bible. In Genesis, go to 322 in Genesis and read what it says. And there's another warning there. And basically, if you eat from the tree of knowledge, you become the power of knowing right from wrong or evil, then you can't go back, or while you hold that ledger, you cannot eat from the tree of life. So that's what 322 is all about. It's the warning there. It's the journey into death. And the journey into death is just through deception, deceit, trickery. Just like in Adam and Eve, it's all the same. When Christ died on the cross for us, you'll realise that your Christian name, who is the real you, has died because you're accepting the name created by the state, which was your Christian name and your surname joined together. So when you accept the wrong name, the real name, the one that Christ gave you, the Christian name, it dies. So the minute you sign on the cross, sign something under the name that you thought was your full name because it had the surname in it, but it never was your full name. The minute you do that, Christ dies on the cross. On the cross where the bank writes, put your name on the cross. The cross is a signature. It's where the bank signs it. They then get you to put your mark on it. So you become the trustee of them. So when Christ died, it's you. Your Christian name died. You were Christ all along. Remember what he said? Through my name only can you be saved? Well, he means it, exactly that. It's your Christian name only that is the truth. That's the real name. That's all there is. So when you kill that, you kill the Christ in you. And you become a trustee of the state-owned name. Because it is only the state that joined your Christian name and your surname together. And that's evidenced in Queensland on the certificate of birth. It's got it right there. I, Office of Registrar General, whoever it may be, at this time it's David John, hold the full name, written in a proper noun, without any breaks, in my custody. He holds the name. So any accounts that come in that name are his accounts, are his debts. But if you believe that you're that person, if you believe that that account is yours, well, it's not, it's his, and then you accept the debts in the mail under that name, the full name, as well as your surname, and you're accepting to be the Registrar General's debtor, trustee, without any compensation, because you didn't know your true full name, which is only your Christian name. I hope you don't believe this, because can you imagine if everyone started to work it out and went, oh my gosh, that would be the end of the system. A lot of people enjoy living as slaves, always did. Even when Moses freed the slaves, there's a bit of an uproar a couple of times about it. They want to go back to Egypt. They thought they had a better life as a slave. They didn't have to think. So went to work, carried rocks, went home, had their weekend or the week off, weekend day, or I think they only had one day off. I don't think we even get one day off anymore. But that's it. have their little time off, and they're happy to go to the state and build big pointy rock houses, tombs, whatever they are, just to get one day's freedom. So they didn't have to think, so they didn't have to rely on anyone. They handed it all over to the states, to the big armies, and they handled everything, but in return they took your soul, just like the Vatican has done today. So really, if you are a slave, you only have yourself to blame. And if you don't hold just the Christian name, then you're not with Christ. You're not in the public of that system. You are the debtor of the debtor. You're the debtor of the Vatican. You're the third party. You do as you're told. You serve without any question. You plead guilty to everything, whatever they want to do. And if you go against that, you're already dead. When you finally make it to the grave, you'll be placed under a slab, which is called a ledger. They'll put dog Latin on it, which is the false text. They'll put your false name on the top, which is a lie, always has been a lie. And for the rest of eternity, you will remain under that slab, remembered by your wrong name. It's for eternal death. And the ledger, the grave, and the tombstone is the actual evidence that you made it into hell, into eternal death. Proud of yourself. Oh, life's a funny thing.